Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Living in Northern California. Today we have a guest for you. We have Money Mike.
Money Mike and Hooks.
We're gonna talk about existing home sales, different opportunities there are in the real estate market, how you can get into a home in all this craziness that we're hearing about real estate, and just different opportunities for you guys to get into the market. But before we get started, Steven.
Listen, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you send a little love to that subscribe button. Hit that notification button so you guys can be the first to know what's going on here in Northern California. Let's talk about existing home sales. What's going on there?
So on a national level right now, month over month, home sales have decreased to about 4.1%. Year over year, about 14.6%. So what does that mean for you guys, right? So that means with inventory at that time, with about 1.15 months, right now we're about 3.6, right? So what is that? What's happening, right? Well, mortgage rates have fallen and it's stirring up buyer activity. So what does that mean for our buyers, right? What can we do for them on these
Hold
new
on.
homes?
You said interest rates are falling way back in the threes?
No.
So
No, you mean twos, right? Ones and twos?
come on. So where was it at and where's it at now?
So earlier in October, they're about 7.5 to 8%. Right now, we're looking between 6.5 to 7.25%.
That's a nice
So,
little drop in a
It is a
short
drop.
time.
It really depends on the program. FHA, you're in the high sixes. Conventional between, I say, high sixes and low sevens. So that's where we're at right now. So you're seeing things, pick up a bit,
yeah.
right? So
For
things
sure.
are picking up, right?
Okay.
And then even though inventory is still short, there's still a lot of homes for sale. I mean, what are you guys seeing in the market right now?
At least we're in an area where there's a lot of new builds. And for the first, I want to say the last year, they've started to catch up on some of their inventory. And now they're starting to have these homes, they're called ready-built homes, to where they're now almost complete, if not complete, right? So we didn't see that a couple years ago.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know what I mean?
And on resale, we are seeing a little bit more resales come on. A lot of, so it's a little bit different in certain areas. Obviously, here resales competing with new builds, which, is a little bit difficult with sellers on resales. But in the Bay Area, there's still, depending on how the properties are marketed, homes that are professionally done the way they're supposed to are coming off the market. We are still seeing, in the Bay Area, prices are still creeping up a little bit. I had a client yesterday who was saying like, hey, we've been looking at properties. I feel like prices are still creeping up here in the Bay Area, even in this price point, like over 2 million. And it's still not it's not perfect home. Like there's still scuffs on the walls and stuff like that, right? So, we are seeing a little bit of a drop in prices in certain places, but there's still certain places where we're still seeing them increase. But definitely a lot more opportunity for negotiating and seller credits and stuff. Yeah.
Definitely. And then also what we could do too is that if you are planning to sell your home, why not talk to the professionals here and get a business plan or a strategy where your home is not going to sit on the market for quite some time? Because right now, what's the average around here that you see, like
Days on
resale homes?
market?
Days on market.
40
Oh,
to
man.
60,
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
and we had a listing and it was on the market longer than we were used to.
Yeah.
It was about 40 days,
Yes.
But
But we were competing with the model home. That's the thing with this area is that, we have resale competing with new builds. So what are people going to want? Are they going to want a brand new home? Yes, they have to redo the backyard, but no one's lived there. Or do they want a resale home where someone's lived there for 2 to 5 years? The backyard's done, but it's not brand spanking new like it was before.
But here's the thing also is that is normal.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the last few years, houses were flying off the market,
Yes.
but now we're just at a more normalized market, which is actually more healthy than what it was in 2021, 2022.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Because man, we had a lot of buyers and sellers, but we'll just stick to the buyers that really wanted a house. They were building their family. They were chasing the market because they knew that I'm never going to be able to afford a home if they keep skyrocketing. And a lot of our clients just kept getting outbid because we were getting people that were removing all contingencies. A lot of them were doing all cash, you know, and it felt really bad to have put this time in with what we call our clients, but friends and family, and them just kind of feel discouraged that they could not get into a home, even though they're writing offers after offers after offers. But right now, things have changed, right? Back then, interest rates were in the high 2s and the low 3s, okay? So there also was a lack of supply back then too, which there is now, but there's a lot of competition out there. And what they wanted to do by raising these rates, they wanted to slow the market down. And a lot of people were afraid that the market was going to crash. And when did they start hiking interest rates? I remember they went from like 3 to 5 last year.
Yeah, it was
that was
recently
a shock. It was like, oh my goodness. But it didn't crash the market, and it went up to 6s. It did slow it down. It didn't crash the market.
Hit 8s.
And then it went to like a point of like maybe like the high 6s, 7s, and then it dipped back into the high 5s at one point. And man, the market picked right back up.
We were just seeing, like right now, right? Like in the last couple weeks, it hit 8% last month, right? And then all of a sudden, it's now back in like the 7s, 6.5s. We're talking to a lot of like sellers and builders, and they're
builders
selling.
Are busy as can be. Yeah. They do have inventory, but they're also moving a lot of product as well. Right?
Definitely.
So what is causing the home sales to be so low right now?
I think everybody's scared about rates, right? So everybody's scared about that. But keep in mind, as you guys are saying, you're competing with resale homes and builders, right? They're competing with each other. But there's a lot of credit there still, right? Builders are offering credit, sellers are offering credit. So use that to buy down your rate either permanently or 2-1 buy down. I would prefer you do a 2-1 buy down, because how that works is that the money that we get from the seller goes into an account, like an escrow account, tax account, and that pays a part of your mortgage for the first 2 years, right? 2%. So your interest rate, let's say 7%, it goes to 5%. You're paying only 5% for the first year, 6% for the second year, and then on year 3 and moving forward, it goes back to the original rate of 7%. So the cool thing about this program is that if you go with this option, let's say in a year from now, interest rates drop to, let's say 5%. Any money that's left over there goes straight into your loan amount, so you do not lose the money, right? So
use it to pay for closing costs for the refi.
So right now, he's mentioned it's scaring a lot of people, right? But that's the best time to buy, because you have no competition and you have so many homes. Not a lot of homes to see, but more homes where there's not a lot of competition, right? So don't be scared.
So what would you recommend? Like, let's say there's a home that's sitting on the market for a little bit longer than usual, maybe like, let's say 60, 70 days. I've had a lot of people say, oh, let's offer lower price. Would you recommend offering lower price, or asking the sellers like, hey, I'll keep it at this price, but give me, $15,000 to buy down my rate? Like, what would benefit people more?
So the craziest thing is, if you do a price reduction, right? If you compare a price reduction compared to like buying at that asking price with the credits, if you do a 2-1 buy down, you're actually going to save more money than doing like a $40,000 price cut. Okay? So it's best to go that route, right? And if you have professionals like us, we are going to go negotiate on your behalf and be like, okay, what's the number that's going to benefit everybody, right? So it really just depends, right? So if we talk to the sellers, and then like, hey, what are you guys looking for? I'm looking for $600,000. Okay, what if we give you $610 and we ask for $15,000 back, or $630? Obviously, we'll have the appraisal contingencies and make sure the numbers work. Obviously, right? But we can strategize like that so everybody wins.
Yes.
Right. So because everybody wants to win, right? Yeah. So, and that's gonna help you guys a lot instead of doing a price cut, because I've done the numbers, and literally you save more just asking for credit and utilizing that for a permanent or temporary buy down.
Because that's a 30-year savings versus like, just a price cut. You can actually like save money on payments over the long run.
Well, here's what I like about the 2-1 buy down is, if I'm a buyer, the seller, whether it's a new build or a resale, the seller has to credit that upfront cost, right? So it's going to last for 2 years. The seller pays for that. So as a buyer, you are not paying for that, and you're getting the instant savings for 2 years. So for the first year, you're saving 2% every single month on your mortgage. The second year, you're saving 1% every single month on your mortgage. The third year, what happens to that interest rate? Does it stay at the third year interest rate what it is then, or is it going off of when you first started the loan?
It goes back to the original rates.
Okay, so if rates today are, let's call it 7, 2 years from now, if interest rates go up to 8, 9, 10, 20, it goes back to today's rate of 7.
Correct.
So what do you recommend happening if in 2 years interest rates go down to 5? My interest rate's going to kick back to 7. It's a perfect time to refinance into the lower rate, right? I love the 2-1 buy down because it's saving you that instant money, right? And what we like to kind of tell our clients is right now we're not competing with a lot of buyers, but you could still get good deals. But what if interest rates come down and a lot of these people on the sidelines get back into the market because ooh, I might not see rates in low 6s again. I need to buy now. Now you're competing with multiple buyers, and what does that do? That drives up the price, and also it takes away your negotiation power. Sellers don't have to negotiate.
Right.
They say, no, I got 5 other people to choose from.
Yeah, and then in those situations, like what we saw in 21, is people are buying homes on the spot because if they took time to think about it, it was gone. So more likely than not, you're probably going to buy something that doesn't have everything that you want in it because you're in a rush to get this home. Versus now you have time to look for that home that fits you, that works perfect for your family. I think I heard that a lot of people who bought in that high market, a lot of them don't like their homes because they were in a rush to buy something, and it's and it sucks. So
here's a big reason why home sales are low. A lot of people bought a home and they're sitting at a 2 3/4 interest rate to 4%. They don't want to give that up. They don't want to leave their home, and you might even not even like your house, but gosh, to go give this up and move to another home and lose that interest rate. They're kind of waiting on the sidelines. It's kind of like a pent up demand, right? But there is pent up demand out there. There is buyers ready for interest rates to come down to get into the market. There are sellers ready for interest rates to come down a little bit so they could get out of their house and move on. So we are thinking, we're hearing that 2024 is going to be a different year in the real estate market.
Definitely.
Right? Now, we don't have a crystal ball, but there is a lot of pent-up demand, right?
Inflation's down.
Yeah, and that's the main thing that drives interest rates is inflation. Right?
Yeah.
The CPI, CP reports that come out is pretty much gives you a whole general idea of what the market's doing, right? So anytime inflation's up, rates go up. When inflation's down, interest rates are down.
Right.
So definitely that's what's going on, and we have been seeing a huge decrease. Right, I think right now we're at 3.2% or something like that in inflation. Which the Fed has hiked rates so much within a short period of time that it has done that. And from what I'm hearing is that they're no longer do rate hikes in 2024. You will be seeing rate cuts from the Feds. There's the statistics saying that there's a high probability of them doing that next year. So why not get in now? Yeah, you might be stuck with that payment to change your lifestyle just a bit for a couple of months, maybe a year, and then just refinance.
Yeah, and like I've mentioned in several videos, when rates go down, who does it benefit? It benefits people who are in their home now, who can refinance to that lower rate, because like Steven said, once those rates come down, if you're a buyer, now you're competing with multiple buyers, multiple offers, which increases prices. So, definitely a great opportunity to buy a home with negotiation power, with seller credits, with time to look for that home that really fits what you're looking for, versus when it's chaotic and everybody's out looking and fighting for homes. So, we wanted to make sure that we give this information to you guys, because there's a lot of people out there who don't think they can afford a home, or they're waiting for the right time. And, we want to make sure that you guys are all aware of like the different opportunities there are right now before it gets a little bit more crazy, when rates go down.
Can I touch on for the sellers out there that may be in a home that they're just not too happy with and kind of don't want to give up that interest rate? The market, there's plenty of houses out there, at least in Northern California, where if you market your house correctly, you get it prepared like you should, and there's a lot of little strategies that a good realtor would make sure your house is marketed properly. They are still flying off the market, and there's a lot of cases where they are still going up in a bidding war, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, sometimes we listen to news and we listen to a lot of negative stuff, and it will create us to be closed-minded.
Correct.
And that's why it's good to talk to different people with different opinions and reach out if you guys have any questions. We'd love to, for the sellers out there, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me and Rose, and we would love to show you the proper things to do to get your house ready to sell for top dollar, right? And there's also a lot of good deals out there as well. So it's like, well, I still got to find a house. There's a lot of good deals out there.
A lot of great deals.
The good thing about that is that right now is the time where you can sell your home and buy a new one at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Because before,
Right.
when interest rates are low, that was impossible. Nobody wanted to take your offer, right?
Because
You
you
had to
still
sell
had to
your
sell your
home,
house,
maybe
yeah.
rent for a couple of months, and then buy the other home
Right.
because
It's a tricky time.
it's a tricky time. So right now is the perfect time to do that.
Yeah, I actually, that's a good one. All right, you guys, if you guys have any questions about getting into the real estate market or just really trying to find out if this is even something that you can do within the next 6 months to a year, or just any questions that you guys have, feel free to reach out to us. And Mike, how can people get a hold of you?
So you guys can follow me on Instagram at moneymike_fairway, or reach out to Rose and Steven and they can connect us.
Money Mike.
Money Mike.
Well, it's funny because when he was in his welding phase, his name was G Money.
Hey,
what's up?
G-Money,
What's up?
G-Money.
Oh, good time. Yeah.
Bring
If
that back.
you guys have any questions, reach out to us. And also, if you have not yet, make sure you send a little love to that subscribe button. Hit that notification button so you guys can be the first to know what's going on here in Northern California. We will catch you on the next video.
Bye.
Peace.